Hello, world and universe. Just gonna do a quick take here, maybe a couple of them because I guess these are better for folks. But y'all don't really have to look around for the for the Messiah. Technically, he's been around in front of you all along, and hello. Uh, I don't know. I'm not trying to be sacrilegious or anything, but quite literally, I've had situation come to God moment, I guess if you could call it, where yeah, for lack of better words, my life's been topped upside down and all around, and had to do a bunch of trials and tribulations, but came out on the other side of it rather unscathed, but well, still, well, I guess here I am. So the point being, yeah, people don't really need to be doing all this crazy like religious stuff. I wasn't religious before everything. I mean, I guess I'm kind of Christian now because I've turned Christian because my name is Christian. But you can pretty much, what if you come to peace with yourself and you truly are at peace with God and with basically everything around you, you start to reach basically, you essentially reach a Zen moment where your body quite literally starts to vibrate and from the inside out, and stuff just starts happening around you and around in life, and just things that absolutely unexplained. Some absolute downright crazy crap like time manipulation and oh geez, it gets fun. But well, I guess for somebody who's been on enough stuff, and their brain's strong enough and soul strong enough, it literally if some people can't handle that stuff. If especially if you do astral projection and going into, like, I get there's multiple universes, like infinite universes technically, but we can tap into essentially other universes which are like in this plane like of existence, like everything is in past, present, future. It's all in the now technically. You can access it all in a way, shape, or form. There's different methods. I mean, look at what they're playing around with CERN, but people can do this. You could do it. Anybody's got this power pretty much if you can truly unlock it. The crazy thing is that when you try to wake people up about it and talking about archons and talking about the real world and even trying to show like videos about your body vibrating, some people just genuinely don't want to see it. And like they'll be like, "Oh, I can't see this. I can't see it." Like the people will legitimately come up with 101 excuses to not see it. And you show it at work or something. Uh-oh, yeah, you get in trouble for that. Believe me. Uh, yeah, and so it's like, people feel uncomfortable with this stuff, but it's true. And I mean, if you don't want to believe it, I guess whatever, it's up to you. It's your soul. But quite literally, essentially, there's many ways to put it, but just to summarize it, essentially, there's the monad and there's you, and you are a piece of the monad inside the monad, but you are one of the all, basically. Like, you are reality. And everything around you is just a waking dream, for lack of better words, kind of. You can lose. Some people can lucid dream rather easily or not. It can get rather annoying sometimes because, like, you start doing it, not realizing it, and then you don't really get that much sleep, and then you feel kind of just drained all the time. But so you gotta know like what you're doing because this stuff can drain you. And if you're doing like actual like astral travel, like astral projection, that stuff can really drain you. It feels like your bones are literally getting sucked out from the inside out from with like a vacuum cleaner. and everything's like darker and dingier and like weirder, like bad stuff happens over there, and like in the other side, and it's like, oh yeah, you can save souls. There's upsides. You can bring stuff back, but you gotta be careful with this. And anybody could do this. I mean, like, legitimately, you don't need to be like some creeper like Epstein on some island to try to tap into this. Like, some people do. There's many different forms of, I guess you could call it magic, esotericism, like religious studies, Gnostic Christianism, many different things, but they all allude to the same, essentially, things. I mean, even like the Book of the Dead from the Egyptians, and there's also the Tibetan one, and oh, there's a bunch of them. But like, literally, if you start like looking at it, they all point to the same thing, and you can start to figure it out. Once you figure out that you're basically just a piece of light from the monad, which is the greater, basically the all being, the one that created everything totally. It's basically unspeakable, like, of what it is, but that's just the way, I guess, that how they describe it. But I think there's always something bigger. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But but then after the monad, essentially you get different types of gods, but like some just break away, and like, for example, something like Sophia, it breaks away, and from the pleroma, essentially, there's the monad and pleroma, which is kind of just like, kind of think about what radiates from the sun, essentially, in a way, like what comes off from the sun, like what surrounds it. But so essentially, sometimes these sparks just break off, and occasionally, like, in this case, the creator of this reality was essentially Sophia, who created basically the demiurge in Gnostic Christianism, which was essentially, I just got a new puppy. Talk about a dyad there, like, black and white. Here's the new puppy, and her name is Sophia, in fact, and this is Sheba. They're actually starting to get along now, and this is only one day now, but like barely even a day, but interesting. Sorry, just getting distracted. But black and white, good and evil. I'm just showing you, essentially, like, how this essentially is. It's two sides of the same coin, same god, essentially. Like, you're dealing with. But the demiurge, think of it as a perfectly imperfect creation, and essentially humanity was created essentially as pretty much like a mirror of what would be seen in the actual monad. So like, reality is kind of like a mirror of what essentially God would perceive as being a version of heaven, for lack of better words. I mean, you can get more complicated, but essentially humans had to be created, because if you're spark of light, essentially, think of it, you're just floating in the void, and there's nothing really that you could feel. And like, when I've done astral projection, like, you're literally just a ball floating around the room, and at times really slow, and you can't really touch anything with your hands because you don't have any hands, but you can float around and move around, like, up and down and everything. It's kind of cool. But essentially, like, the other thing is like, but so think of you being like that, and being like a god in an infinite void, and just having thoughts to yourself. Yeah, it gets really boring. It's not really pleasant. So essentially, they created humans to essentially be the feelings for them. So you have the senses. So they essentially live through us. The demiurge created to live through us. And there's other beings too. I'm not saying there is one God of this universe, and technically this universe is, like I said, part of a coin. So there's a flip side of it. There was a breath that was before the breath that created this creation. So it gets really deep, really quick. But you guys got to start doing some studying. Stop killing cows and doing crazy stuff and killing each other over stupid stuff. No, that's not necessary. God doesn't want that. No, that's not how it should be. Just come to peace, come to truth with yourself, realize that you are basically essentially like a piece of God, as in, and you are one with God, and it gets big. So, like, you change this reality. You can be God and be a piece of God, and there's just one God, but and we're all one with God, of course, eh? So essentially, think of it this way. I'll make more videos, but sleep on it. Thanks, peace.